Let me tell you something very, very important. Whether you're going to the gym or you're writing an essay or you're networking at work with other professionals, you're developing your app. Some people develop apps. Or whatever you're doing in your life, you always most likely need that motivation to just get these things done. Sometimes it's tough. It's tough to understand what motivates us best. But you know what's tough?
What's tough, Graham?
My drainage issue at home.
I love the twist. I love it.
It's tough.
What a twist.
So what drainage are we talking about?
Yeah.
Not the bathroom drainage, but I've been living at this house for 6 years. First of all, how are you today, Mustafa number 1?
Doing excellent. Thank you very much.
Mustafa number 2.
Alhamdulillah.
He's excited to hear about your draining issues.
He's just staring at me. He hasn't blinked for 1 minute. He just blinked now. The drainage issue, I'm great. I'll ask myself.
Oh, yes.
No, usually we let you do all the talking.
I'm just going to drink my tonic water.
Drainage.
So you were saying that you had some very major drainage issues at home.
Yeah, so I've been living at this house for 6 years,
Mm-hmm.
if not more, and never have I had a drainage issue.
Yes. What happened
Cut.
to your drainage issues?
Cut.
Oh my God. Tayyip,
Why
bro.
cut?
But you yawned. I heard it through the
I
microphone.
didn't yawn. I breathed. I didn't yawn. I breathed.
Nah,
yawning.
nah. Come on.
There's no yawning.
Tayyip, alright.
Anyway,
So you stopped at the drainage issues?
yeah.
I think just start again.
No, leave it. I'll cut that bit.
6 years living at this house, and then all of a sudden, the first night of Ramadan, or second night actually, my mum's cooking, and she tells me that the sink is overflowing with water
I remember that.
because I called for an SOS.
Why did he invite you over and not me?
No. Were we doing the other podcast when this started having this issue?
What other podcast?
The previous episode
No,
3.
we missed last week.
No, I'm talking about episode number 3.
Yeah, it happened before the Ramadan.
Was it? I remember clearly that he
The
mentioned
drainage
it to me.
issue happened the first.
Oh, I remember
The
he
second night
called, he
of
called the
Ramadan.
plumber.
That's right.
He called me before.
But before I
He
called
called
the
you
plumber,
before he called the plumber.
but
Come on.
let me tell you what happened.
Who
I
needs a
called
plumber
this guy,
when they've got me?
and he told me this is what you do. You unclog it's like an L-shaped thing,
S-shape, man. S-shape.
S-shape. It's called a trap.
A trap.
A trap. You unplug the trap, and then be careful because all this shit comes out of it. You need to get a bucket. And at the start, my mum had no faith in me that I'm going to get this done. I took off my shirt. He gave me confidence. I said, yeah, don't need a plumber, you have me.
So
She
you
was so
don't need a
worried.
plumber, you have Graham. And you don't call a plumber, you call a Sparky. You definitely have things screwed on the right way, don't you?
Watch this.
Yeah, watch this.
I took off my shirt.
Took off his shirt.
We cleaned it out, and my mum's anxiously waiting in the background,
She's like,
thinking,
"What's this guy gonna ruin
It's going to
now?"
be a big mess, huge mess. I took off the trap.
He didn't take a... Hang on, there's more to it. So the trap has two screw-ons. I don't know what they call them, these plumbers, man. I'm not a plumber. They have one screw bit at the top and one screw bit on the bottom. He undoes the top one first or the bottom?
Yeah, the top one, the bottom one.
The bottom. Then he goes to me, are you sure a lot of water's going to come out? Only a tiny bit of water came out. I'm like, what are you talking about? Yeah, there's a lot of water's going to come out. He goes, yeah, I've only undone the bottom.
Oh, by the way, we
He
put
goes-
one bottle of drainage in that blue liquid shit.
Let me finish.
Sorry.
Thank you. He goes to me, I couldn't undo the top. It's on too tight.
No.
He's undone his shirt and he couldn't undo the top.
No, because I didn't want to break it. But as I told you,
Oh.
we poured
He
the
didn't
You don't
want
want
to
to break
strength.
it. Yeah, okay.
I
Okay,
poured
Googie.
that form.
No, it's not going to stick, Crane. I promise.
We poured that formula, the drainage formula, in the drain, in the sink. Sorry.
Oh, before you've...
Yeah,
you've
yeah.
tried
So
to
I
undo
was
it.
waiting for that blue shit to just burst out.
Yeah.
I undid the second one.
Boom.
It all comes out. We cleaned the whole mess and everything. I'm like, I looked at my mum. Thought I got it done for you.
Have no fear. Crazy.
Have no fear, the king is here. She wasn't convinced. She felt like the job wasn't done.
She knew that her son that has no clue what he's doing and
When
his
it comes
Sparky
to that
mate on the
stuff.
phone.
Yeah. Anyway, had a shower, got dressed, drove to my cousin's cafe. He made me an amazing coffee. I'm on my way for my drive. I get a phone call from her,
Your mum.
My mum.
Initially, when you first seen the phone call, honestly, did you know it was related to the plumbing? Because if you say yes, then deep down you already knew what was wrong.
Yes.
So he left the house knowing things weren't going to stay
But to
smooth.
be honest, if he took the right steps. So basically, he's undone the trap first because most of the sink blockages are
true.
from there. So it's gunk and stuck down there. So he's undone that. And then if it's not that, there's
But
a further blockage down
well,
the drain.
I need to give this guy a shout out. He listens to every podcast.
Nice.
I SOS'd him. His name is Adam Ant. That's a company. Adam Ant. You know the show, cartoon show, Adam Ant?
No, I've never heard of it.
Anyway, Adam Ant Plumbing.
Definitely will look into it after the
Yeah.
podcast.
Yeah, so I sent him videos throughout and he's laughing at me because he said,
Of course he is.
don't you save yourself. Just spot me a green one, which is nothing, and he'll drive 45 minutes the next day and fix it.
It's nothing.
It's,
No, nothing. As
No,
in,
nothing.
a green one?
Obviously, a green one.
do
no,
5 green ones if you want.
nothing.
He'll come up with a purple one.
Nothing in comparison to calling an SOS plumber. They'll charge you a lot of money.
No, they would. So you
Yeah.
got your call out fee plus whatever
Yeah.
you want to do.
And I laughed at him. I told him, "Don't worry, it's done." Then I sent him a voice message telling him, "Mate, you're right. It needs you."
Yeah.
He came in at 7 a.m. Turns out he needed to get this thing and
The plunger.
the plunger. No, it's
Plunger.
another thing. It's like he sifts through the chunks and there was a lot
He
of.
breaks them apart until they
Yeah.
fall.
And this guy's Aussie, I think, or Greek,
So-
half. He's like,
So
to
was
me,
it just where the straight away where the sink is, or
no,
was it further
in,
down the line? Okay.
right at the bottom of the actual insertion of the trap. And then he said, "What have you got?"
If any plumbers are listening, they're gonna laugh their
They
asses
are.
off.
Well, he's like to me, "Have you got a lot of mlukhia down there?" He doesn't speak Arabic,
Mulukhiyah.
but he knows mlukhia. He's like, "You've been eating too much mlukhia." This is at 7 a.m. And I'm like half asleep.
I'm fasting, mate.
Yeah. He told me, "Go to sleep. I got the job done." He actually had to go buy a new trap.
You know, and he spotted them $100.
Yeah, that's it. I actually,
This guy's looking after you.
he looked after me a lot. It cost
He
him $100
must be
to
one
get
of
here.
One of the short sticks fans.
Oh, he is. And
There you go.
I promised him that he'll get his shout
Plug.
out.
Oh, so hang on.
He sorted it out.
Why doesn't he get a plug? Why does he get a shout out?
Hey, this guy's he's getting free jobs because advertising on our show.
Yeah.
We're not getting free plumbing jobs.
Listen, whatever sponsorships he's getting on the side,
Yeah,
look, I trust that he'll do the right thing and send them our way.
you reckon?
Look, I'm going to say that live on the podcast, but definitely once we're done, I need to have a conversation with him.
Anyhow, is it all sorted? Drains all clean?
It's perfect.
Oh, beautiful. There you go.
Perfect.
Any
Can eat your
issues
Malakia
since?
again.
Oh, the only issue was my mum had to spend twice cleaning the house in 2 days. Like, as in, I'm not talking
Why
about.
didn't you just hire someone to clean up the house?
I told her she'll
Just give him a green one.
kick
Give him a spot on the short sticks.
she'll kick me out of the house if I get someone to clean. She likes to clean it the way she wants. She can't handle someone come and clean the house. You know how these
Yeah.
little wog mums are. They
Yeah.
clean the best.
Man,
They have to have the house cleaned the way
Where
they
they
want it
want,
cleaned. No one
yes.
can
I
clean it
gotta
like
give
them.
it to him, man. I used to work in housing commission a lot, so we'd travel and you'd see all sort of different human beings and how they clean their houses. The cleanest people are the wog mums.
Yeah.
The cleanest
agree.
houses we entered were wog mums.
They clean every day.
Man, we used to go in with boots. We had to fight with them to keep our boots on. Nah, take off your shoes. We go, man, it's a safety boot. We can't take it off. We have to sign it off on the paperwork. This is government work. No, you got to take it off. We can't. And so you had to convince this lady that I have to keep my shoes on. 90% of the times we lost the fight. We had to go in with socks.
Oh.
We had to do the entire job with socks on.
Otherwise, they'd be following you out the door with
Yeah,
the,
no,
that
they wouldn't
bamboo stick or that, the
She would
the
much
spoon,
rather.
the wooden spoon. That
Oh, yeah. She would much rather have her lights not working or PowerPoint's not working instead of us walking in with shoes.
Well, speaking of that wooden spoon, have you ever had a wooden spoon broken on you?
Oh, too many times.
Be honest.
Yeah.
Have you had a wooden spoon broken on you?
Not many times, no.
Did you ever get to the... I think you had something else broken on you.
You can't give out hints like that. You have to finish the story.
So-
What's been broken on you?
The wooden spoon, who, him?
Yeah.
Me, I was a prodigy son.
Oh,
What are you talking about? I was a prodigy son.
let me tell you something. This guy at 7 years old, may God bless you, he was working in the school holiday at 7 years old. Not child slaver.
No.
Oh, thanks, bro.
And all the way through to 14
Uh-huh.
and much older, my school holiday was bike riding, doing absolutely nothing. and then I'd send him MSN message, and he's working full time, full throttle.
Full throttle.
Prodigy son.
So I don't see where the conversation is going.
Man, he drags
If
these
anything-
stories on for so long.
If anything, he just concurred with what I said.
He did. Yeah.
So he made me.
He made you look
Prodigy
like
son.
this
You know the first week I ever worked with this
the
guy?
golden child in the family.
I walked in.
We hired him for 1 week.
No, 3 weeks.
and he never came back after that.
I caught a train, and then I caught a taxi.
It came out of him better than
was
coming
not-
out of you. Halbuni.
100%.
Better than sucking your mate.
He made me hold
I should have sacked him.
for the first time like 15 mirrors. I was young, and he had already held 50 by then.
Yeah.
And I came up to him and told him, I've held 20 mirrors. He's like, I've already did 40. Double. Anyway, his dad walks past. This was the biggest ego buster of my life. It brought me
Yeah.
back from cloud 9 all the way to the ground.
He used to think, just so you know, you probably don't remember him at that age.
No, I don't think so.
He didn't need a mirror to look at himself.
Yeah.
Let alone holding 20
No,
mirrors.
he could look at a brick wall, he sees himself.
100%. And then look what his dad said. It taught me a lesson in life. He says in Arabic, son, throw him the
Broom.
broom. I'm like, what?
Me brooming?
Me-
Are you serious?
Broom? And this guy, he knew what's coming. Prodigy son, he knew what's coming. He grabs the broom. He gives it to me. He's like, a real master of his trade starts with the broom.
Yeah, for sure.
In other words, in any sort of field that you are, whether it's a trade, whether it's engineering, or whether it's even medicine, you need to start in the slumps. You need to
Yeah.
start in the at the bottom and work your way
100%.
up. Not in terms of the amount of time, but rather the experience. Understand everything that surrounds you in that field.
Man, I was doing my apprenticeship. I've got to give a massive shout out to this guy called Bill Abbas. He used to be this Sparky that, man, as a Sparky to this day, I still think he's one of the best Sparkies to ever be in this country.
What's up with you guys giving plugs and
No,
and
he's got his own business. I just gave the guy a plug, not the business. And I don't even think he listens to this podcast. I haven't spoken to him in ages. But I've just got to give him a shout out. This guy is an absolute monster of a Sparky. He's one of these guys. So basically one day on the job, he goes to me, go and clean this oven. I go to him, man, I'm not going to clean an oven. I'm a second, third year, whatever apprentice. I'm not going to start cleaning ovens. I'm past that. So I got cocky. He goes to me, no. He gets to me, you want to do the fun stuff, you got to do the ugly stuff. In other words, you want to do switchboards, you want to do all these things that you like doing, you got to do the disgusting stuff. Then I stuck to my grounds, like, no, I'm not doing it. He goes, yeah, because then I'm not going to let you do all the fun stuff. I got so cut at him that day, but then I remembered, I go, man, this guy is so right. Like he said, if I want to do the fun stuff, I have to do the ugly stuff, because if I take the job, I have to take the entire job, not just half of it.
That's right.
So I've got to give him a shout out, man.
Yeah, and that's the same lesson that his dad taught me, because then when I started brooming, you know what he said? It got worse. He laughed.
Mm.
He said, son, show him how we broom here.
because the way he was brooming.
He didn't even know how to broom.
No.
Send him to Lebanon.
Yeah. And then I gave him the broom, and he's got this technique all down packed on how to broom. So I spent the afternoon brooming.
Does he push or pull?
What was
Both, depending on the angle that.
I don't, see, I'm not a trader. I don't get that joke.
Do you
It's
push
not
the
a
broom
tradie-
or
it's
you
not a-
pull it in, man?
It's not a tradie joke.
Well,
What do you think we muck around about brooms on the
No,
site?
look, do you like how he just he did like a mini divide and conquer straight away? And he thinks that like these guys are tradies. These guys, he's seeing himself.
I'm the engineer.
We don't need to. We don't
by
need to
far.
I don't need to be a tradie. I sell dips.
By far. They taste amazing, as if you don't like my dips.
I love it.
Honestly, but today in your barbecue, absolutely amazing.
You've
But I
never-
just need to say
what-
something.
Your barbecue crave.
You've never had eye fillets the way I cooked my eye fillets.
Honestly, I need to say something.
You haven't.
That eye fillet that you made was absolutely amazing.
Perfectly cooked.
I could let us talk about your eye fillet.
just wanna say
you don't
something.
have
If
to
you
talk
cook
about
it,
your eye fillet. No.
I just want to say
Let,
something.
let us no. I want Mustafa Ayyubi to concur with me. I want him to
100%.
I want to discuss this with Mustafa Ayyubi only.
I've never had eye fillet, I think. Or maybe from memory, because I don't even
You
knew
never
what-
actively had eye fillet.
I never knew what eye fillet
Or
was.
consciously.
Yeah, I'm not that meat guy. I'm not
So
that
you're not a
barbecue.
carnivore like some people.
Oh my God, no. I'm so glad I'm not. Basically, but he brings us this eye fillet. This what's it called, Crane?
Wagyu eye fillet.
Wagyu eye fillet. It's expensive stuff. I've never had it. And this meat, he's barbecued it perfectly and smoked it as well. Had this color on it and this flavor. And this thing just fell apart. He just grabbed it and goes, "Oop," just
Honestly, it was
wow.
very, 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 very nice. And I'm not just saying
Would you call me the Char Grill King or no?
no, not the Char Grill King. When you invite us again,
I can't. It's too expensive.
then we'll call you the Char Grilled King. But I have to give it to him. I
100%.
appreciate it.
You know,
That was a lovely, lovely, lovely feed.
It's
I
very-
just wish you had made some potatoes on the side.
Oh,
I need to know. Honestly, I would love to hear feedback from everyone, not just because
Yeah.
obviously Ayubi, you know what I'm talking about.
Oh, 100%.
I've had barbecue at his house twice now. Yeah,
Just meat.
just meat,
Oh my God.
just meat. Like,
don't know
I
how he
had
does
to
it.
tell him, "Where's the potato?" He looked at me like I'm speaking a foreign language.
Man, I don't even eat bread in a barbecue because usually you got the meat, the potatoes.
You have
this.
meat, you have potato, you have salad, you have
Yeah.
dips, you have.
I felt like I needed bread so I can change over from the meat. I
And you know what the thing? It's not that he.
think I'm not going to poop for 2
If
days.
someone was listening, they would think it's because he doesn't want to spend on it, but it's not the case because the meat
No.
that he's buying is worth a lot of money.
$90 a kilo, some of it.
You know, and he's buying more than 1 kilo of that meat, so
Yeah.
it's not much either. So he's spending so much money on this meat.
look,
The issue isn't the spending. The issue is sometimes you need to have something on the side of what you're eating.
can I put context into the story?
Here we go.
The first
Here
time,
we go.
The first
Shove it
time,
right in
he's
the context.
Go. I took it out of context. Now he's gonna bring it into context.
just to give the audience some context. The first time he was correct. I tailored the feast based on what I'm used to, because I
'Cause
was
you're
at the
carnivore.
time-
Go,
At
say
the
it.
time, I was all in on carnivore, but in Ramadan, it's hard to be carnivore.
Yeah, and eating a meat, one
Yeah.
meal or two.
It's very hard,
Yeah.
especially at 1 a.m. when you get the kak and you cook it on the barbie. Oh,
After this podcast, go to my barbecue area, and I'm gonna make you guys skark like you've never tasted before.
I saw this kak online. They have beef rashes. I don't know how to
Yeah,
pronounce that word.
beef rashers.
yeah.
Man, they've opened the kak and
I've seen that, yeah.
cheese
Seen that video.
It's dripping. I'm like,
You know what?
oh, man.
I can't have meat in kark.
Me neither.
Bro,
For
have
any
you
of our,
tried
Eng-
it?
what
I'm
about-
just looking at
I
it.
have a question. What's kark called in English? So
Kak.
we,
Kak.
what is it called in English? So, can you describe it for some of our non-Arabic speaking listeners?
It's, well, when you search kak in English, you get the word jaw.
Can you describe the
It's like 2 buns and cheese and
basically? So it's like a flat bun, and with
Depends, some-
sesame seeds, and it's
yeah.
not very. It's not. It doesn't have. It's not filled with like air. It's not something that you squeeze and
You bake
No.
it.
so it's something
Is that the term? It
something
depends.
thin.
No, you bake the kak.
You barbecue it, you grill
Or
it.
you grill it.
I
You
don't know,
grill it, you
depends.
barbecue it. I don't know about baking
I
it.
don't think it's called baking. Baking is like what you do with cake and bread and whatnot.
Sure. But just to put that context, let's wind it back a notch. The first time he's correct. The second time, he planned this amazing barbecue at his house.
You know what?
I know
You know
where
what?
the story's going.
Listen, if we're gonna go there, let's be honest. Yeah,
Let's
you
go
guys,
all the way
you,
there.
you guys can go there, but let's go all the way. Like you said, if we're gonna go there,
Let's hit it.
you need to say every part of the story, not just the part of the story that you see fits into what you want it to sound like. No,
So Mr. over here,
Like, what's your version of the story?
no, not version. Just let's say it from the beginning to the end. What did we agree on today, and then we'll continue out properly throughout the show.
when you give me an opportunity to
Yeah,
talk, I'll
okay.
talk.
Okay.
Mr. over here, his plan was that we use his barbecue at his house, and it's aesthetically his backyard is much nicer than mine. Anyway,
Yes.
you and I were we were going back and forth on the group today
Yes.
because we knew he'd finish work late
Yes.
and he wouldn't respond. So I put my hand up and said, "Just come eat at my place. That way, everything is ready. Then we'll go to the podcast."
Okay, see how
'Cause
initially
the podcast is not at Craig's place.
the way that he portrays the story from the beginning, someone would think he's sending this message at 7 a.m.
No, I sent it at
No,
3.
that was
at
late
3,
afternoon.
You should say that you sent the message in the late afternoon.
Yeah, which is fine.
But,
Okay.
but technically speaking, let's go back a few days, if not a week almost, when we said we'll do barbecue
At his house.
at your house,
But we're saying that.
and we'll do the podcast right after. So
Correct.
the initial plan was here,
Yeah,
to do it over here,
that's right.
to eat and straight
And,
away.
and then Let me talk.
Let him
Then,
talk. Are you serious?
Go for it, please.
then he wouldn't respond because he's busy, and I had finished work.
Mm-hmm.
Woke up for my nap, waiting to go get the meat.
Living a life. Anyway, go on.
Beautiful nap. I go get the meat. It's 4:00. It's 4:20,
Yeah,
and you're still waiting to see where we're going to eat.
Shut.
And yeah, the guy was going.
We almost had
But
breakfast.
can I say something? The butcher closing has got nothing to do with me.
No,
Straight.
he
The
just
timing that you chose to get up and go buy the meat, that's got nothing to do
I
with
had
me.
already
Nothing.
ordered it anyway.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
yeah, you already ordered it, but that's got nothing to do with my response.
Anyway, 4:20. So those who are listening, we have 1 hour left to break our fast. 4:20 comes. I go to get the meat. I make it just before they close the final door, and I told him, "Don't worry, your son has pre-packed my meat. Paid for it. I'm in the car. And then you call me.
I did
You're telling me where we're going.
because is that the word vague?
Vague. No, it was just he left it open.
Yeah.
I told you, look, most likely we're going to his house because he hasn't responded.
Because the conversation went like this because he skipped the whole part of the conversation from 3 p.m. to 4:30.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
That's what
And
I
wait,
remember.
wait, and
means
there's
by
only
give
20,
context.
20 minutes left, 40 minutes left to eat. Yeah, go on.
So basically,
Such an over exaggerator.
3 o'clock, he said, we say, "Where's the barbecue?" Halbuni kicks in. He says, "My house," as was discussed. Then you said, "Oh, how about we do it at my house because you're going to be late at work and we don't want to eat at 6 o'clock."
Now let me give my point. At that time, I was with a client.
But you have guests coming over.
Okay. So does that mean I have guests coming over? I don't go to work that day?
No,
Is that what it means? Anyway,
Next time, just leave work.
Yeah, just
I
leave
keep
work
telling-
and,
why
and,
are
and
you
stay at
working?
home from the morning and look at my barbecue until my guests
if you
come.
want to befriend Graham, why are you working?
No, if he was just to throw me green ones every day, maybe I wouldn't have to. Anyway,
Yeah.
I'm gonna throw some context just before you continue.
Go for it.
So I was with a client at that time when we were agreeing. So I said my house. I was with a client trying in and out to message you guys. You know, I got very busy. The conversation became very important with this client, and all I see, I read. You know how you can read the notifications. I read that Graham has written something along the lines of, me and Ayubi have agreed, or even Ayubi agrees, the barbecue should
That's
be
right.
at my house.
keep in
So
mind,
in my mind,
it's 4:45 and we're eating.
no,
at
that's not
5:20.
true.
Yes.
That's not true. That I'll get you
I wanna
the
pull the
exact
conversation
time
up.
of the message. I'm going to tell you the exact time of the message.
Like someone pull the conversation.
At
up.
4:30,
No, no,
you
no.
wrote, haha, whatever, just go get it. 'cause
No, I
it's
didn't write. I
4:30.
never wrote that. I
And then
never
at
remember writing that statement.
4:41, you wrote, sure, whose house is it? Call him. 4:46, he wrote randomly, Graham's house, and I'm on his way. I'm on my way to his house.
Listen, I have it right here.
4:46.
I have it right here. Okay,
4:46.
look at this.
By the way, we all have our phones out, and everyone's looking at the same.
Okay,
message.
here he goes.
There's no trust.
4:46. Look,
He goes.
can you tell him it's
At
4:46?
3:45.
Yeah.
3:45. 3:45.
Yes.
He writes
Even
that
Ayubi.
even Ayubi agrees. That's what I read while I was with the client. At that time, what did I assume? That's it.
That's it,
okay,
it's
it's
settled.
settled. It's at Graham's house. So I'm continuing with the client. I'm trying to
He
seal
gave
the
us
deal.
no
Oh,
response.
snap. No, he did. 4:46. He says Kramer's house.
Yeah,
Shabba.
you
Yeah.
know where I was at
That's-
4:46?
Can you
I
stop
was
cutting
on the
me
way to
off?
his
No, no,
house.
stop, and let me finish what I have to say.
All right, go, mister. I'm with my client.
So just to give you my part of the story. So after I finished with the client, obviously there was a lot of back and forth message between you two that I hadn't read because I thought that was it. It's settled. At 4:46, I look at my phone and I realize that you two still were unable to come to a decision about where you wanted to go. So that's when I wrote, okay, Graham's house, because I assumed it was Graham's house. So I delayed me leaving work early to cook the
Man,
barbecue.
that 1 hour, you should have seen the thoughts going on in my head and his head. We didn't know what's going on. Are we eating today? What's going on?
Thank you.
So
Thank you.
So at that point, you can't blame me.
We can.
Because I'm at work, I'm busy.
And he said when you
I
read
don't-
the
listen,
messages before,
I don't have the luxury of, I don't have the luxury of sitting down and looking at my phone while I'm at work because I'm busy. I'm busy at work.
we're
I can't
busy
just sit-
too. But all I'm going to say to end is,
listen.
it's 4:46.
No one said you're not busy. But
It's-
today, can I ask today, because
I
of the
finished early.
yeah, exactly, because of the flexibility of your work, you were able to finish early. But today, my work was not flexible for me.
All I'm going to say that you said my house at 4:46 and there was only 20 minutes.
No, I said your house.
4:46.
Yeah,
Your house at
that's what he's trying to
4:46,
say.
yeah.
He's trying to say,
And there's only 20 minutes left.
That's not true.
And we're
There's
having a
more than
barbecue.
20 minutes. There's half an hour.
20
4:46.
It's 5:20.
What time sunset?
5:20.
Yeah, so 4:46 to 5:20 is 34 minutes, my friend.
man.
Yeah, but I'm on my way to your house.
Who was your math teacher?
I'm on my way to your house.
Anyhow. So this guy's on the way to your house. I'm on the way to your house.
That's right.
And then he threw that message, and it's like you threw his spanner in work.
But can I also just throw in there
And I
that
have to go
I
back and
don't
start
live
the barbie.
I only live 7 minutes away from your house.
him
Don't
lives 7
overdo
minutes.
it.
Him
Yeah,
lives
but
7
he
I
minutes.
I only live
I think-
7 minutes
I
away.
think the issue was he wasn't prepped, so the meat wasn't marinated, which was an issue. Should have been marinated from before.
But that's got nothing to do with
Nah,
me.
it should have.
Yeah, don't be surprised that Ayubi agrees with me.
No,
Obviously,
The
you-
meat, but he wasn't ready.
Okay,
For
that
I have a
meat-
question. Last night, Ayubi,
yes.
who agreed to buy the meat?
Well,
Pray
he
him.
didn't, we pushed him to.
No,
Well,
he said,
there
"Let
was
me
no-
get it," because he, in his mind,
And there was no other
only
option.
he knows how to choose best of the best superior elk meat.
And me knew at work, so
I mean,
there was no other option. He had
And
to
he had
get
a
it.
very flexible day today. So what
Very.
happened? He organized the meat. So you would assume that he's gonna purchase it, marinate it.
No. But
prepare
let me
it.
tell you something. That meat, it's Wagyu eye fillet. You don't
Why
need to
you
marinate
okay.
it. All you have to do is put salt and a bit of oil.
Okay,
That's
so
it.
why are we
Okay,
talking about
fair enough.
marination?
It's
Anyhow,
just
so
irrelevant.
it's just part of the prep that wasn't there. And the biggest thing that threw him off guard is he didn't have fire starters. You should.
But you don't need a fire starter for a barbecue.
but
You know, if
he
you were to
needed
do it
done
without a
quickly.
fire starter?
He needed it done
Yeah.
quickly.
we would have eaten 6:30.
Bro, you overdo it. No, that's not true. You can have a barbecue going in 5 to 10 minutes. Max.
Serious, man. It
Yeah.
takes me so long to start the things properly.
Not 10 minutes. Not 5 minutes.
5 to 10 minutes, and that coal is on.
Anyhow, but
He carries on as if he's a barbecue king.
No, I never proclaimed at all to
Anyhow.
be the barbecue king.
anyhow.
Anyway, you
it's
came to
done.
my house
I
and you
did.
seen how amazing the coal was.
But no one's
And
saying
how
it
it
wasn't
was made.
amazing. I agree. It was more than amazing.
The
it was
point
excellent.
is, the venue changed instantaneously at 4:46
Alright.
when breaking our
And
fast.
You know what? If
5:20.
you can't account for variable change in your life, then I don't know who you are.
And
I don't know who you think you are.
the funniest bit
you
of the
should
story,
be able to.
Anyhow, let's settle down, boys. The funniest bit of the story is Crane
bit of
went,
tension,
went around telling everyone around the block that Halwani changed the plans, changed the reservations.
So just
Because
to give everyone some more context, this guy went to his local grocer, then he went to his local butcher, then he went to his
No,
mum,
no,
and he
local
told them
grocer.
all.
But as soon as he walked into the grocery store, he walks in, he didn't even tell him what he needs. He just walks in, he goes, my mate, stuffed up the
No. I got back to my house with a car full of stuff after I was on the way to his house, and I remember there's no fire starter. I ran out. Then I drove to the grocery store, and it's 4:50 by then. 4:50.
Yeah.
I run in. I say I need fire starters. He's like, okay, uncle, relax. It's down there. He follows me. He thought something's going on. I grabbed the fire starter. He's like, what's wrong? I told him my mate decided to change the venue now, and we're breaking our fast in 25 minutes. He put his hands up and he said, who does that? I told him, see.
Thank you, local grocer of
Then I get
of
home.
the inner West
Give him
Sydney.
a passport photo of yourself. Say when he goes around telling these stories, they can have a bit
At
of
least they have reference. They can
have a
search me.
face.
They know
behind
the
the story.
face.
They can search me.
Then I get home and my mum's tripping out. She's like,
You just left.
Are you going to eat? You're going to your friends for a barbecue. What time do you
Look
want
how
to
he
eat?
throws me under the bus. Look.
I said, oh, then you know how stubborn this guy is? I told him, let me do it at my house today. And he said, no, we'll do it at mine. Then, now he decides to change because he was busy at work.
I didn't decide to change. Look, you know what's
It's a
what's important.
misunderstanding.
Listen, no. I need to say something
Well,
very
let
important.
him
here.
finish his point. You cut him
I need
off.
to say something. I was talking before him.
No,
he cut
jumped
me
in
off.
first. Play it back. He jumped in first.
I was talking
I
before
don't know how to
you.
play it back live, man.
Listen,
Anyhow.
when you're saying a story, you need to say all parts of the story. Honestly, you can't just say that I decided to change the venue. I didn't decide to change the venue. Based on the conversation that we were having, I assumed that you came to a conclusion without me. So I ran with your conclusion
Just
to
a
make life easier for you.
misunderstanding.
If anything, you should be thanking
Do you know in
how
that time-
flexible I am with you guys.
I don't usually call him more than once.
You should be thanking
No,
how
no.
flexible I am. Yeah,
I don't call him-
plural.
I don't-
I'm including you in this. You'll be
Don't go there, man. You've got one person against you. Don't make it two. Listen.
I don't call him more than once. I called him 3 times, by the way, between 4 and 4:46. No answer.
I told you I was busy with the client.
All you had to write was your house. And
I didn't know what you were calling me about.
to
What if
be
you were
fair,
calling
yeah,
me
he
to
didn't
tell
know.
me
I know,
you need money?
but yeah. No.
He might tell me, throw me a green one.
I need to pay the plumber.
I just spoke to my Sparky. He told me exactly what to do with all my plumbing.
Another topic.
Yes,
It's
go for
completely off topic, but it just popped into my head now.
it. Yeah,
You know, the economy is in a coma. It's on life support.
yeah.
I don't like to talk about numbers and politics like I'm an economist, but it's in life support. It's like you have a defibrillator.
You
saying,
made a statement last week, or at
Ooh.
the start of this week.
Yeah.
His statement was this statement: I can't believe what the government has done to the economy. When I heard this statement from him, I looked at him and in my mind I'm saying, what are you saying? What do you think the government has done to do you think they've done it on purpose?
They're losing.
No, I didn't say. I'm not going into conspiracy theories that they did this on purpose.
Yes, you are.
But the economy is in complete.
But
It's in
it's
a
not the
state of
economy.
disarray.
The world is in complete chaos right now
I know,
due to
the
COVID-19.
But the amount of people who have COVID-19 in Australia is 1% compared to the population. 1%.
1% of
1%.
Can I explain something to you?
Don't put it in context.
No, of course I have to put it in context. Let's say comfortably we say Australia has 25 million people in terms of population.
Mm-hmm.
Now we know that Sydney is one of the most densely populated
It
states
is.
compared to the other states in
It is.
Australia. If you say 1% of Australia has COVID-19, what is that? 250,000 people? 250,000 people in Australia, even though Australia is vast
Is it
and
though?
it's 1%
No,
of,
but I was talking about New
of
South
25
Wales.
million.
It's 25 million.
Yeah, 1% of 25
Did we
million.
even reach 250,000 casualties?
That's what I'm saying.
I'll
So
give
let's
it-
say it was 1%
I
of
think it's
of
much less than
200
that.
of 25 million.
Yeah.
That's 250,000 cases. And I don't think we're nowhere near that. I don't even think we reached 10,000
this
cases.
Is it. This is it. Official stats. 6,794 confirmed. 5,980 recovered. 97 deaths.
So we're under 7,000.
And 97 deaths.
Man, all I'm gonna say,
And nearly 6,000 recovered.
Is that in Australia or just Sydney?
in Australia? All of Australia.
So if in that is less than 0.1%.
man, I'm gonna go ahead and agree with Ikram on something, but not of the whole topic. So the economy is in ruins because us driving around from one place to another, from one place of trade to another,
Everyone's copying it.
No, they've got some people actually have no money. They've sacked all their workers. They're sitting there. They're hoping just for some drop to come around. A lot of shops
Are you
shut
talking
down.
about retail stores or are you talking about trade at the moment?
Trade.
Trade,
Yeah, no,
okay.
it's. But saying that as well, saying that we should be thankful that in this country we did much better than other countries. Man, other countries shut down for 2 to 4 weeks, complete shutdown.
Well, Australia
Can
is
you imagine the effect that would have had on human beings? Complete shutdown.
the mental health deaths regarding mental health is going to be much higher than the COVID-19 by the end of 2020. Mark my words.
Well, man, whatever it is, I think we came out better than other countries. We came out on top of this better than other countries.
We did, but
Much better too. Not better, much
But
better.
I want to put something into context here, yeah? You're saying we came out of this better than other countries.
Mm.
And you're saying that, but we don't know the complete outcome because even though the curve did become flattened a little bit, we are seeing just recently in the past week or two, there was a small rise in the cases in Sydney alone. Not comparing all of Australia, just Sydney alone. So all it takes is just a bit of leeway and the virus will spread even worse than it was before because people were already in like a mini lockdown or a watered down lockdown for 2 weeks or 3 weeks. They don't want to be in lockdown anymore. So right now to turn around and say that it's total lockdown, it's going to go into chaos.
Yeah, it is.
chaos and anarchy for sure.
And especially, man, in Australia and especially in Sydney, I think that people can't go for lockdown for 2 to 4 weeks because if you think about it, the expenses, the lifestyle expenses here, just to live, to rent a house.
Cost of living is you need minimum $50,000 a year for the average cost of living of a couple.
Because for example, you may go to Lebanon, tell them, for example, I'm getting paid $1,500 a week. They're like, oh, $1,500 a week. They can't believe it. But if you
Cost
look
of
at it,
living is huge.
yeah, you look at it, man, I'm paying $700 for rent, for example. I've got cars, I've got petrol, I've got food, I've got kids. And you think about it, oh man, at the end of the week, I'm not even saving $50. So if That's what it is. So if imagine going to lockdown for 4 weeks and you need that much money.
Well, the treasurer came out today, and I don't really watch the news because I'm sick of hearing the word COVID-19. I'm absolutely sick of it.
That's all that's on the news,
Yeah.
man.
But the treasurer came out today on a snippet that I watched, and he said, he said this himself, we need to get back to normalcy. And if we open Australia, we need to open up Australia again, because the cost, if we go at this rate, it's going to cost the economy 44 something billion a week. A week.
Yeah.
Then he said, but lucky in Australia, they haven't used up this cash that they have. It's on the side. It's all this politics, jargon and numbers.
Whatever, man.
And they're leading more than America. And this is what I find about COVID-19. All these countries they're versing each other as in who dealt with it best.
Yeah.
Every country, you hear their prime minister or presidents come out and say,
It's like a competition
we
to
did
them.
it best. We did it best. We did it best. I'm just sick of COVID-19. I need my gym open. I need to go there and train. I want to lift those heavy weights,
But man,
light weights.
I'm just worried about what Halbuni said. So he did say that a small number started spiking back up when they let loose a little bit. So he's just scared if they let loose a lot, they reopen the gyms, they reopen the restaurants. That I don't know, man.
That's one of the fears.
I don't want to go back
that
to lockdown.
The Public Health of Australia, they have a committee. Their fear of reopening too quick might cause a spike in the COVID-19. I just keep saying, what about the flu season? There's been, as I told you, 6,794 confirmed cases, 5,980 recovered, only 97 deaths, yeah?
Yeah.
And I say only because the flu kills
Way more.
thousands per year.
So what are you trying to get at here?
He wants his gym open, man.
Listen. I need to say something very important here, okay?
Please do.
What is the major worry about the coronavirus as a virus? What is it?
The rapid rate that it spreads
No.
and the
No.
and the life-threatening risks.
The most worrying thing about coronavirus, according to scientists, is its ability to infect a human cell. So as a virus, the COVID-19 coronavirus, its ability to infect a human cell is much greater than a normal virus. So even though other flu-like viruses may kill more people, these flu-like viruses are unable to hijack human cells as quick as a coronavirus. That's the biggest issue. That's why
much more serious.
That's why so many more people are bound to catch, for example, a coronavirus compared to a common cold. That's the problem with the coronavirus. So it's not that, okay, this coronavirus, it's got this special disease that kills you instantly. No, this coronavirus infects your cells quicker and it exposes you to a greater amount of harm compared to other viruses.
There's two sides to the story.
What side?
No. As in,
I think
what I'm trying to say. This is a scientific.
I know where you were going. You were trying to say, look, don't overdo it. The coronavirus isn't that big because other flu-like symptoms or other flu-like viruses kill more people throughout the year. We know that, but that's not the issue here with the coronavirus.
I just don't know anyone that has the COVID-19.
That's excellent. That
and
means
I'm happy with that.
potentially you don't have COVID-19 and we're safe, even though we are maintaining social distancing in the studio.
You should see this big ass table.
It's got 1.5 all around.
Anyhow, man, I'm sick of this COVID talk. I'll hear it all week. I don't need it.
Have you ever?
All I'm trying to say is I agree with you. I want the gyms back. I can't do this.
Can I ask you both a question?
I give them 2 weeks, or I'm gonna start protesting outside of the
Me
gym.
too.
Do you ever listen to the news? And this is probably directed more at Mustafa Kareem. Do you ever listen to the news about COVID-19 and say, man, the news is just blowing up about COVID-19? I wonder what else is happening around the world and they are not telling us.
I already know because I look at other news outlets. I look at other news outlets. I don't trust the news the local news that I watch because it's the same. I watched the video, and the video had over 50 stations, and they all said the exact same thing. Then they played the 50 stations at once, and it was one voice saying the same thing.
Yeah.
So, you can't trust that.
So what other news is going around the world at the moment that we don't know about?
Well, there's people getting killed all over the world.
That's nothing new, man.
No, but now Like there's mini wars that are about to explode
But that
in sovereign countries.
Yeah, that's nothing new, man. They go there, they slaughter other
But
people.
these things have been happening for a long time, and whether coronavirus or not, these things never receive any news time,
Can I tell
any
you something?
airtime anyway. And
They
if
don't.
they do,
That's what I'm trying to say.
it's watered down,
Okay.
and
Well,
it's made out to people forget
Yeah.
about the next day because
there
something
is-
pops up.
Yeah,
all
there
I'm
is an
gonna
agenda.
say, COVID-19's been going on for 2 months, dominating the news. All I'm gonna say and leave it at that. What happened to the war on terror?
Yeah, no, they've got what war on terror, man.
Wow, can you say that again?
What happened to the war on terror?
I'm
What
gonna let
happened to-
you're gonna take that one straight to the moon.
Am I?
Yeah.
What happened? What happened to the? It's 2020. They've been there for
Man,
19 years.
I don't want to go.
18
on this.
years.
If I go on this rant, we're gonna go for a 3-hour podcast.
18 years.
I'm so sick of this garbage, man.
But what happened?
They are the terrorists. They are. They're part of them. They trained them. They made
When you
them.
say they,
financed them.
who are these people? They that you're
These
referring to?
governments.
You know
these
how much
major-
money
these major
America
governments.
made on the war on terror? Because they were
Yeah.
supplying the military, the arms to the terrorists.
Yeah.
Then they were taking the oil. Then they were selling them
It's just-
the arms.
it's a
Are you
garbage
talking about the
bullshit
one
game.
percenters of the world, the world's richest, the
Yeah.
1%?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, but man,
Why did you look at me? Because
man,
he said one. I said 1%ers. He thought about himself.
I did because
I told you.
my PlayStation tag is
as-
top 1%.
as some might say, he's the top 1% of the top 1%.
I like that one.
My PlayStation tag, even though I'm not the gamer that I used to be, it's top 1%.
Anyhow, so that's what I'm trying to say. Live your life, improve yourself, and don't
course.
believe this garbage that's going on because it's a bigger game. It's a massive agenda going on behind our backs. And you know what? It's not even behind their backs anymore. It's known. The public knows it, but
they do.
unfortunately, the public's too lazy to
do you
act.
mean?
So
You know-
it is what it is.
You know, at one time, Graham was addicted. More than just addicted. If there was a stronger word, I would probably use. Or if I knew a stronger word, most likely there is. But he was addicted to the series called The Arrivals.
I actually never watched the Arrivals, but the theme of it, you're right.
Yes, the concept.
The
I mean,
concept, yeah.
Hang on, so you're addicted to the concept?
Oh yeah. So the
What the heck?
Arrivals,
the Masons, Illuminati.
yeah, skulls and
But
skull and bones.
They call them, like when we say
Secret
the
societies.
Arrivals, it's a term
Oh,
of the secret societies.
I get you.
Because when you have a president that was killed, John F. Kennedy, he was killed.
Oh my God,
He was killed.
For all our American, fans
He was
out
killed
there,
after
we'd love
saying-
to hear your.
There was an
Love to
attempted
hear your
murder.
feedback.
Attempted murder on him. He didn't die, and it all happened after he said in a huge
Press conference.
Press
Don't
conference.
go there. The JFK murder was the most controversial. Most people say it's from the mob. Most people say from no one
the
knows who
CIA.
killed him.
But do you know what he said?
He had so many enemies. This guy.
That's right. But do you know why? Because he was against the war in Vietnam,
Not only that, bro.
and he said we need to eliminate the secret societies.
No, not only that.
He said that.
You know that. You know who made the Kennedys? Who they are? The mob. The Italian
That's right.
mobs. So basically,
Have
after
you
they,
watched The Irishman?
I don't know, but I'm talking about proper talk. Like,
It's true.
proper
Basically, he's
documentaries.
saying he already said proper documentary. Don't come with this
I'm
movie
not talking-
rubbish.
yeah. No,
And make it
proper
as if you know about
documentaries
the
with
Kennedys.
with ex mob bosses and stuff like that. If you listen to it, the mob made the Kennedys who they are, and then after the Kennedys took office, so JFK became a president, and his brother became vice president, whatever it is. His brother turned on the mob, and he went publicly and said, "We need to get rid of the mob." But he had a full on blown war on the mafias
Because the
And
mafias had
put him there. So basically, the mafias were in control of the unions, and the unions voted for these people. And the mafia told the unions, "We want these people up there," because they thought they're going to back
It's
them
true.
up. So that's what I'm trying to say. So the mob actually took credit for his murder as well. So we don't know who killed this bloke.
Look, there's been a lot of instances where people that were not the culprits of murder take recognition for
they
that
take the
murder
credit for it.
just because they were happy to be the ones to be called
Yeah.
the ones that actually murdered these
And now
individuals.
you'll see it a lot. For example, something happens, some unreasonable extremists, they get up there and say, "We did it," and then they didn't even have anything to do with it.
By the way, that address was his final address
He got murdered.
to the UN. So it was JF Kennedy's final address to the General Assembly in the UN, the United Nations.
He got murdered not long after that because
Straight after
they
it.
say that address was the instigator
Yeah.
or that address was the last straw. Even before they're saying, even before that was already planned. But
Yeah, again,
look,
he had so
we
many
don't-
enemies. This
I don't
bloke,
really
man.
want to go into
No, I don't
the
wanna go
history
down
of JFK and then move back onto Abraham Lincoln and and then we'll go through.
And then,
Or what is that? 54 presidents of the United States. How many presidents have they had so far?
hey, and
Oh, they've had-
94% Australian listeners will turn off the.
What do you mean?
Podcast.
You had,
What
you
are
had
these guys on
George
about?
Bush. He didn't run the country. It was the vice president that ran the country.
But it's even like that now. What do you think? Trump was running the country. That bloke's got no idea where
He's
he
the vice
lives.
president now.
That guy with the white
Pence?
hair.
Is it Pence?
I don't know how to pronounce them.
The white hair
that
guy.
moron.
Sorry,
with the
See
white
how
hair.
he stands with his little bucket too?
Just to
Yeah.
confirm, it's
You feel that?
45.
45.
45 current presidents.
Oh, not 95, he said.
You know,
I didn't say 90.
Did
I
you?
said 54.
would you know trivia? There was during that time weird things were happening to prime ministers and presidents, and the Australian prime minister disappeared. They suspected him that he drowned.
Is this real?
Yeah,
The Australian prime. Which prime minister?
the Australian prime minister
pull it up,
disappeared
You know, it's kind of interesting.
at that time. The disappearance of Harold Holt,
Thank you.
1967. Look, he disappeared while swimming in the sea near Port Sea in Victoria.
Did he repeat?
No, he was gone.
He
Oh,
disappeared.
that was the end of the story.
Remember Harold
Maybe he
Remember him?
eloped.
When the 67?
Maybe he
Do you remember
eloped.
him, Craig? Halbuni, remember him from 1967? Why don't you remember him? Didn't he play ball with
After
him?
2 years in office, he disappeared.
Graham, maybe he eloped.
What's eloped?
That's one of Graham's favorite words.
Is it? Anyhow, so this guy's never heard from ever again.
When you secretly go with someone to go get married and you disappear, it's called elope.
Ah,
That's why he said it's my favorite word.
is that what it means? Yeah. Are you in elope?
Ooh, elope.
I think I'm making.
He
things
might
up,
be
man.
the eloper.
He's not the eloped.
Hopefully not.
All I know is that anyone would want to be eloped with me. Any female should. love
Here
to
we
be
go.
eloped.
Anyway,
Did he just say any
Moving on.
female? I'd love to.
Anyway, moving on. So let's move into something a bit more different.
Yeah, I
because
think so. Enough of the.
because the
garbage
politics is difficult. So for me, I don't have a political background.
This is
I
just
haven't
pure
studied
opinion,
politics.
I guess.
It's complete opinion,
Yeah.
and most likely, all the facts that have built my opinion, there are definitely missing parts
Yeah,
of
for sure.
in terms of what I know. I would rather talk about something that we do know.
Which is
We're waiting in suspense. Other than me being the cutest guy here.
Look, we all know the importance of responsibility. And
Mm-hmm.
I know last time we did touch a little bit about routine and we touched a bit about how it's important to stay on routine. But don't you feel,
Graham's gonna go for 3
especially
hours.
in this sort of context or this sort of time that we're in,
Yeah.
the burden of responsibility?
Yeah.
Don't you ever get worried about what's going to happen if the economy does crash, if things do change? Imagine we were to go into martial law.
Wow.
That's massive, bro. Right?
That's huge.
Yeah. But let's go back. If the economy does crash, what the heck? What do you do?
Oh, first of all,
Man.
those that invested in things like gold and
Yeah.
people that
Oh,
that
have you
had-
seen that craze?
yeah,
People are blowing their entire life savings and buying gold bullions. Entire life savings. I'm talking hundreds of thousands of dollars and saying, I'm investing in this because they have this theory. Have you heard about this? They're saying cash is going to be no longer a thing. They think that after this pandemic is finished,
It's going to be a
end of
digital
2020,
currency.
they're saying there's no more cash.
a cashless society.
Yeah,
Yes.
but then I told him, what are you going to do with the gold? You can't go buy bread with gold. You have to go turn it
Yeah,
back
but-
into the bank.
Yeah, but the thing is, what they're worried about is, let's say the economy in Australia crashes.
Then the
That
gold's
would
gonna-
mean the dollar would drop. So
That's
if
right.
let's say if we're talking against the American dollar, that means that if the Australian dollar drops, importing becomes more expensive.
Yeah.
Exporting becomes cheaper for other countries. That means we make less money.
No, for sure.
You know, so
it's a
if,
big harm on a country.
if the dollar drops or if the dollar fluctuates significantly and we go into a major recession due to an economy crash, you need something stable. And what's
that's why they
stable
say
against
gold.
all other currencies around the world? Gold.
But
Because no matter no matter what currency you're purchasing the gold in, gold is
It's
valued by two
international.
things:
Yeah.
its weight
Wait.
and its purity.
Yeah.
So These
Well-
things will drive the price of gold.
I have no gold at home, so
No.
You did have a very expensive diamond ring though.
let's keep it at that.
Man, have you heard the news from Lebanon? So for you guys that don't know, basically the Lebanese dollar, let's say, whatever you want to call it, was, an American dollar was worth $1.50, $1.60 Lebanese, lira, whatever they call it. So now it's crashed so hard because of what's happening politically in that country. Now one American dollar is like 4 or 5 thousand, whatever they call it.
Wow.
So
Inflation.
it went from 1,000 to 4 or 5,000,
Inflation
and the
is
banks
real.
are not handing out money.
But that's
There's no money left. in the banks.
that's not inflation.
No,
Because
that's-
inflation is when the price of goods in the country rise, but the price of goods in the country,
No, they've risen.
No,
but they have-
they've had a different completely.
it's
No,
not. It's
no,
the,
the cause-
price, the currency didn't lose its value due to inflation.
No, it didn't lose it, but I'm saying inflation did occur. Not the
Are
reason.
you saying people did put up their prices?
they couldn't afford to go to they were rioting and walking into the stores and screaming at the store owners to drop the prices. But the store owners, it's not their fault
Because
they're
imports are more
purchasing
expensive.
at a higher
Yeah.
price.
It's like when your garlic started coming in more expensive.
That's right. We had to increase the price of garlic.
And he was very happy.
No, it was tough. We lost a lot of business.
That's ruins that country.
You
now.
know. Let's talk a bit about investment here, because we did talk about gold.
Yes.
Okay.
Investment.
Now, just let's talk about
You can tell people
theoretically.
would invest.
No,
Not
of course not, because I'm not a financial advisor.
no, for
Definitely.
sure
So
not.
He's not a financial advisor. He's a financial planner.
Is he?
do we have the sound effect here? Please turn on the sound effect.
Come
because
on, man. I don't know what this.
I want to give him.
hang
I want to
on.
give him a. I want to give him a cricket sound. No,
Thank
where's
you.
This one.
There you go.
Every time he puts his hand there to touch the mixer, he ruins it.
No, I don't ruin it.
Man, he wants to find that sound. He's willing to press
No, I found it
7
now.
buttons
I
at a
know. I
time.
know where it is now.
Anyhow.
That's for your financial planner. Anyway,
Take note, people.
let's say right now, before the COVID-19 crisis, or after it now that we passed the crisis, don't you feel like there should be something that you invest in that doesn't lose value depending on the dollar, or the value of this item won't be driven by the change in the dollar, just for safekeeping?
I'm gonna go as fast to say I don't care. Not because of I don't care in general, because me personally, I don't have the hundreds of thousands of dollars
No,
to
but
invest
it's not
or
about
to,
having.
or to lose.
But it's not about having hundreds of thousands of dollars to invest or to lose. I know a few people, they started by investing $100
Yeah.
a month. 100 into anything, not you don't have to go into the millions.
No,
They
don't.
started at $100, investing 100 a
Now-
month,
now
and
is the
now
time, yeah, to invest.
they have large amounts of capital in the form of asset or in the form of tangible material. So this is like a what do they call it? A safety net.
Yeah.
I
So
think
I know that you probably don't care because you
No,
you
but it
don't
is-
have you might say I don't have $100,000 to throw around, but just having the mindset that okay, if I do ever get some extra money, definitely I wanna build a safety net because you never know what's going to
Besides-
happen.
yeah,
Imagine you
besides-
have to just turn around and leave the country.
Yeah. Besides saying that as well, investing usually happens. Successful investing usually happens in times of recession, because you invest a little, and as soon as everything picks back up, your little becomes a lot.
well, the government are talking about removing the
Stamp duty.
stamp duty on purchasing property. But guess what they did?
Call
Man,
me,
You know
call me
what?
a lifesaver.
They removed stamp duty before on first home buyers only.
yeah, but then they quickly changed it. That's
Yeah.
when K-Rud
then-
came and gave
K-Rud.
away giveaways.
And then when it was my turn, they put it right back up there.
You want to rant about your turn? Can I tell you what happened to me?
What happened to you, man?
Listen to
You're
this.
talking about when it was your turn they removed it?
Uh-huh.
Okay. I could have, should have, would have bought a property when K-Rod was doing all those hand-me-outs, and you could have gotten the loan from the bank easy.
Yeah, oh man, they were
Just-
handing them out like chips.
I got a call. They called me saying you're pre-approved, and I only had 20,000 in the account. That's it.
Man, they were handing out with 0%
Yeah.
deposit at that time.
Then
Uh-huh.
the Liberals came in. Gillard
No more giveaways.
overturned K-Rud. Abbott Abbott, he beat her. They went strict. They started to they changed the laws. I waited. It was too late. I had no more. I blew my money, of course. Then I started to save again. I wanted to settle down. Long story short, I was ready to buy another property. Or buy my first property. I thought, man, if only I bought this when K-Rud had removed the stamp duty for first-time buyers, I would have saved $25,000.
Yeah.
Guess what happened? Liberals. I kid you not. The property settled.
Uh-huh.
I did get $10,000 off the stamp duty, but I got shafted. The property settled. Not even 1 month later. They wanted to stimulate the economy. They removed stamp duty.
I remember the morning of that announcement.
Yeah.
He called me and he was furious. You know, similar to the message he sent on the group today, the voice message.
Yeah. And I'm very patient.
When he was on the way to buy a house.
Why?
Yeah, like that.
Why?
1 month later.
Man, you want to hear something that really gets to you? See how the government's handing out money. Basically, they're saying now, if you have a company, if you have a business, if you're a sole trader,
JobKeeper and
see how they're handing out money. What people don't know is they've removed payments from a lot of people that actually need it. So you know the parenting payments and all these financial helps. If you earn, for example, the minimum
threshold,
the minimum amount, for example, to get paid parenting payment before was at a level. Now they've dropped it much less. So basically now, most of the people that were getting paid that payment are no longer getting paid that payment and are not eligible for whatever the government's giving for this the corona thing. So they've taken money away from families, and now they're going to give them to companies.
He did come out and say that we have to raise the money that we've given away in some form of manner.
But all I'm trying to say is this garbage that's going on. They're given money, yes, they are, but they took it away from somewhere else.
How else are they going to do it?
Yeah, so
Do
they're
you
not
think they're
giving.
going to raise the M5 tolls? All the tolls?
I'm so
freeway
sick
tolls?
of these freaking tolls. How many tolls are there on the M5
Honestly,
now?
it's terrible.
I know it's a checkpoint thing, so it's not, you're not paying per toll.
Yeah.
But it's so, it's like, it gives you that twitch every time it goes, they're like,
But they're building.
Just lost some money.
They're building a new link.
I don't get what they're building.
No,
Nothing
it's
works.
going to be an awesome road. So from the
Look, I'll be honest with that. You know the new M4
the
link?
new M4 or M5.
That helped because especially look at my location, for example. So that's really
it does
convenient
help,
for
yeah.
me. So I was on the way home from Drummoyne yesterday, and before I knew it, I thought, man, I need a while to get home. I forgot about the new M4 link. Before I knew it,
But you
I
know,
was home.
you know the West.
20 minutes,
I've got
25
advice for
minutes.
you after he says.
Have you heard of the West Connect?
Yeah,
West Connects.
yeah.
They're connecting Beverly Hills straight into the city. So the M5 they're building
Oh, that's awesome.
Can
man.
I ask you a question?
straight from there
From Beverly Hills to the city?
to
Can
St.
I ask
Peter's.
why is that beneficial for you since you don't live in Beverly Hills?
Because he needs to sell his garlic all the way in the city.
We need to go Sydney
You
wide.
serious?
Okay.
You can't be selling garlic.
So they're
in Beverly
duplicating
Hills
the-
only. You have to go to the city.
So
The-
tell
the-
us your advice
The
about
M5. Let me
My
just finish.
advice?
The
Yeah.
M5
Sorry.
is
Oh,
from
we
King
we
George's Road.
apologize.
King George's Road. They already built it, and they've upgraded it. And there's an interchange at King George's Road. Instead of going through that one, who builds a 1-lane tunnel, 2-lane tunnel?
That was, oh, no.
So the
That was
upgrade.
before the rise in population.
That's right. That we didn't expect the increase of population.
Oh, he didn't, did ya?
The upgrade is from there all the way to the city, from the King George's Road to get bang.
You know what, but
Please don't do the car noises because
they'll
you're
do that now
terrible.
and watch the amount of trucks.
Oh, man.
And every lane, just take one lane, please. You see trucks trying
You
to
know how they
overtake
made
each
the
other
bus
up
lanes?
hill?
They should make truck lanes.
I know. Or at least trucks not overtaking trucks. Just make that a thing or something. You see them up the hill, one truck's trying to overtake the other one, and they both bog up, and now everyone's just stuck in traffic. Anyhow, back to the advice. You are into quotations, and that's your most of your day is gone from one house to another, measuring. Isn't that right?
Yeah, he built his own quoting calculator.
You want my advice? Get yourself a scooter or a bike.
No way, never.
Come on, man.
Never,
What does he live in Africa? It's Australia.
He,
That's
he,
right.
he needs
Never,
to
no
answer
way.
the phone while driving.
Yeah, you can put
No,
Bluetooth headset in your helmet.
No. I can't. Imagine having to go for 1 hour imagine driving all day, being exposed to the sun and going into the quote and you're sweating.
What would you sweat? You get the right gear.
You're talking to the biker here.
Nah, bro, I do this on a day. I'm telling you, if you try a scooter, just a scooter, you're comfortable with the scooter. It's not fast. You sit
Not
there,
about speed.
you zip through traffic. That's all you need. You're not speeding. You should zip through traffic. Your 1 hour drive.
I would rather buy a bike, like a motorbike.
The only reason I say the scooters is because you can put a box with your quotation papers.
Yeah,
and
the last-
a
I
jacket
can
in
do that
case
on a
there is-
motorbike.
You can. All I'm trying to say is something of that form. Today,
But sometimes I need to carry samples. Sometimes I need to carry.
how big are they?
Sometimes like they
He's
they
got a
need
couple
space.
of
So
books.
I have boards
You
and
can fit them.
sample books and
That's all. That's my advice. Because if you're just quoting, Get yourself an iPad. I don't know. You know
I
your
don't. I
stuff.
don't like the idea. I feel like I'm going to be uncomfortable all day on
Have
the
you
scooter.
have
or
you
bike.
realized what happened
What?
when Mister over here is confronted with something that he does not agree with whatsoever? He completely threw it off.
That's
he,
not
he
fair.
shuts down.
Yeah, he shut like
No,
no.
I gave you the
stop.
reasons.
He
Stop.
I get-
the barrier drops.
Stop. Don't
No,
go for it.
there's a difference between shutting down with no reason behind shutting down, and then actually explaining why something like that doesn't suit.
In other words, your idea is rubbish.
No, that's not true. His idea is perfect for things like Uber
maybe
drivers.
some occasion. No, man. Come. So all I'm trying to say is today I had to simple travel from Greenacre to Yuguna. On a normal day, how long does that usually take?
COVID or pre-COVID or post-COVID?
Pre-COVID, obviously.
Pre-COVID, it'll
During
take you,
COVID.
Pre-COVID will take you over 25 minutes. During COVID, it will take you 7 minutes,
Peak hour traffic.
30 minutes.
Man, talking of, it's a small travel distance-wise.
Yeah.
But peak hour traffic, 30 minutes. Today, I left Greenacre on the bike. I looked at traffic. I'm like, oh, no. The traffic was so long. I skipped hundreds of cars. The 30-minute travel, I think it took me 5 minutes.
Wow.
And I did not speed.
That would be excellent, honestly. And I've always looked at people on motorbikes and scooters and said, man, how much I wish I could do that
Just
right
put
now.
a big-ass box in the back of
But
the scooter.
it's not suitable for what I'm currently doing.
The last time I jumped on a bike,
It's
was 10
done. I'll take it back.
last time I
No,
jumped
don't
on
take it back. I appreciate
No,
that you
it's
took
all
the
good.
time to actually relay that to me. Unlike there are certain other people, I'm not going to mention their names, but
That's
they
the
don't
start of
relay.
Mustafa.
They don't relay these beneficial
Hey,
information
hey,
that
hey,
they may have, or
let me
even
tell you something.
opinions.
Can you look at him right now in the eyes and tell him why so serious?
What's
Lighten up. Relax. Take it easy. Have a
A Kit Kat?
Kit Kat. Have a break.
Have a Snickers. You're hungry.
But why are you talking like this?
Because
You're making me wanna. You're making me wanna leave the studio.
And it's getting worse and worse.
Yeah.
The high pitches.
Yeah.
because
It's reminding me of.
I just feel like there's all this tension in the room because of the idea that you gave him. It's just an idea. All right, thank you. It doesn't apply to me.
That's what I said. But you're trying to force it down my throat. It doesn't work that way. It doesn't work that way. If you're more than welcome to pitch an idea,
Yes.
always, and I think it's great. And I'll give you a piece of advice, but I'll tell you something that you probably already know. But just as a reminder, anybody that comes up to you with a new idea, with a advice, or to share some experience or any of their experience in regards to a certain matter, the intelligent person will listen to that advice
Definitely.
and honestly weigh it against their current situation, because anyone that says, I don't need to listen to this guy, this person's not the smartest person
Man.
out there.
I heard something that matches exactly what you said. Very clever statement. They said your critics are your free financial advisors, or your advisors, your critics, because they come pick on you in a way, the way you guys pick at each other all
But
day.
depends on the source of the critic.
Obviously, not talking about haters, talking about actual critics.
We're not talking about someone that's, for example, only studied accounting to come and tell a cardiac surgeon how to dissect a heart. We're not saying that.
No, we're talking about actual critics. So let's say you guys are friends. He says all this stuff to you. You might find an actual lesson to learn from what he's saying, even though he's being negative towards it.
Now I get you. So when I tell him stop blowing so much money, stop displaying so much self-destructive behavior, he should take that on board, shouldn't he?
Hey. Let me tell you something about that point.
Everyone
Blowing
should take that
so-called
point on
money.
board.
That's blowing to what I was earning, because I've been spending a lot of time with a lot of people lately, like
That
through work,
Spend a lot of money.
and some people have extravagant lifestyles. Like they spend $3,000 a day.
Man, I know some people that have such extravagant lifestyles. They have like 3 credit cards that are maxed out at all times. So whenever they pay a bit off, they go right back up there.
Well, guess what I heard? I heard a quote. If
A
you're
statement?
a statement. If you're doing financially, if you're going through a bit of financial hardship, or you're not as financially strong as you were or you want to be, instead of renting a $2,000 apartment, for example, rent a $500 apartment. Instead of driving a $200,000 car, drive a $5,000 car. Don't spend more than what you earn.
Yes, Halbuni. Listen to his advice.
Spend what you can in
I need
accordance to what you earn. So,
I
for
need, I need
example,
to sell my $5,000 car and buy a $500 car.
no. I'll tell you an example.
Perfect.
That'll work. I need to leave my 3-bedroom home and go
into
buy a 1-bathroom home. Yeah.
No, he's taking it to an extreme.
Buy a tent
Buy a tent.
and live in it. That's front yard.
Live my parents' backyard. Got more room
I'll
there.
tell you an example.
Knock on the door at 5 o'clock in the morning. I need a brush.
You know what? Can you remind me, as soon as he's finished his point, because I don't want to cut him off, because it seems like it's important. Just remind me of the word tent. Yeah, just remind me. Don't remind me of the word tent.
Instead of, if you're earning $1,500 a week and you're renting a $1,000 house and driving a car where you're paying $200 off a week, and you're saying, I don't have money. No, go rent an apartment for $400 a week. Okay, sell your car, get a cheaper car with no finance owing on the car, and then that $1,500 a week, you can save $300 out of that.
Okay, you know what? I completely agree with you. Even when we were younger and we were into that habit, and I'll say that this was the case during my younger years, where if I had, let's say I had $400 in my account, I'm buying a $400 watch.
Yeah, that's how it was.
If I had
You get up there, you
$300 in my account, I'm buying a $300 jacket. What I'm trying to say is we would spend
what we had.
everything we
more.
had, and we would live a lifestyle that was beyond our financial capacity. But that, also honestly, that's an experience.
It is.
And that's, now there are some people that they hold on to these habits and they have to maintain that lavish social lifestyle, and that's where they blow their money. Like you're saying, he earns 1,500 after rent, and after he's paying back his car, he's got $100, hasn't even bought groceries yet for the house.
Right.
Yeah, and I know someone, for example, they live at home with their parents. Their car is worth $3,000 maximum, and only because they can only afford to buy that kind of car, randomly they bought a jumper that has Givenchy, I think, it has stars around the collar for $1,500.
Wow, half the price of the car.
The cost of registering that car on the road is $1,200.
You know, honestly,
There are many people that are like that.
Yeah,
they
there are.
fake it, not fake it to make it. They
just fake it and they never make it.
Can I say something there? Can I say something? I think it's very important to clearly state that sometimes it's okay to splurge on yourself.
It depends, yeah.
Obviously, like let's say someone doesn't make a large amount of money, doesn't have a large income,
Yeah.
but this person really likes ASIC shoes, for example. So if this person put, for example, $50 aside a week for a month
To save up for that.
to save up for that shoes, I don't see anything wrong with them buying $200 shoes.
The only thing I'd say,
Honestly,
the only thing I'd add to that is that if you want to reward yourself, work hard in return. So you can't say, I don't want to work, I don't want to do things, but I want to reward myself. Why are you rewarding?
no, that's different.
Yeah.
But I'm talking about those people that go out and earn a wage every week.
Yeah. But
And
they're
then-
not doing that well financially.
But they have, for example, they made some silly decisions in their life. They got into some debt. It happens.
yeah, that's right.
This person, it doesn't mean that that's it. It's over. This person can try and obviously pay off all those debts, but at the same time, man, like we're only human.
That's right.
Sometimes you need
need a
to
break.
reward yourself just to have that encouragement. Like, okay, let's keep going. It's different to buying a pair of shoes every week.
But then you
Can-
feel like so many people spend their money on dumb shit they don't need to impress others, just to impress others.
Man, that's Instagram.
Okay,
And a quote.
can I?
It is.
It is, yeah.
Can you
Follow these
explain?
people on Insta.
Can you explain what you mean? So what what's an example of something? I'm asking genuinely.
I love shoes. Yeah.
What's an example of something dumb that someone would buy only to impress someone?
For example,
or impress people.
I have shoes. I buy my special shoes that I like, and they're not that expensive compared to
Why
other
are they
shoes out there.
special? What are they
Because they're
called?
comfortable.
What are they called?
Asics Quantums 360s.
Okay.
I bought the what did I buy, the 90s?
You bought the one, not on his, yeah.
He told me off because I bought the 90s and not the 360s.
Because of your flat foot, that's why.
I'm not having flat
Sorry, the comfortability of your. You wanted to jog, that's why. You
But
wanted to go
did you
jogging.
see
I
how
concur.
when you said the 180s, he had this
Wasn't good
sense
enough.
of entitlement, as in
serious? It's the 180?
Are you
No, the
serious?
90s. I said
Anyhow.
the 90s.
But
Yeah, but what I meant by some people spend money on dumb shit they don't need. Instead of buying 5 pairs of shoes at once, buy
Yeah.
1 or 2, okay?
buy what you need.
And what you need, not what you. So many people, and I used to be one of them. They go buy what they don't need and what they're not going to use for the sake of spending. And you find
that's different. That's self-destructive behavior.
that's
It
right,
is,
and
it
it
is.
becomes habitual.
You know what can become habitual?
I agree.
Honestly,
I
and
agree.
something positive that can become habitual. When you get your money at the end of the week or at the end of the fortnight, whatever it is, you know yourself. You know that I need for the next fortnight to survive $300, for example. Leave the $300 in your wallet. Take the rest of the money out of the account, or take it if you have it in cash. Pack it away and save it. That's the only way. If it's not with you, if it's with you, it's spending.
You know what's hard about that? I understand what you're saying about calculate how much you need for the week and only spend that much money.
And if you don't have, just suck it up. Honestly,
That's
live a hard life for the next 2 weeks.
It's true.
I've seen on read, because we read
Yeah.
a lot of things, on the internet. You
That's
read a lot
right.
of things that pop up in front of you. I actually read a article. It was more a short statement about financing yourself and saving, and how certain individuals built a, what do they call it, a high-end lifestyle.
A fortune, whatever
Yeah.
it is.
One of the advice that I read, and I tested it myself, and I found it to be gold. Whatever your wage is throughout the week or the fortnight or the month, depending on how you get paid, obviously people get paid differently, you need to start by saving a minimum of 10% of whatever you earn. So why did I like this concept? So you start with 10%. Let's say someone earned $1,000, just for calculation's sake, $1,000 a week. This person would put $100 aside
A minimum.
that week,
Yeah.
just to start off with. Why? So that 100 you put it to savings, and then everything else is allocated: bills, groceries, a bit of spending on the weekend and whatnot. Now, anything that's left over at the end of that week, when you reach the end of that week, you can add it back to the 100.
You can.
So you don't have
For
to
me,
go.
that didn't work.
But can I say,
Yeah.
you know why a lot of the times these things don't work? Because people choose a much higher percentage than needed. People would choose 25
They set
or
unrealistic goals
30% of their savings.
at the
And
beginning.
you know what the issue with that is? Because what happens is, if you put 25 or 30% of your savings instantly on the side for that week, and you're not used to not spending that money, you get to the end of the week, you get to Wednesday, and you feel like you don't have a single dollar. So where's your first lifeline?
You go back to it.
So once you pull out from them, you say, man, this is not working,
Yeah.
sack it, and you just don't do it. Start with a
Again,
smaller
so
amount.
I'd say, man,
Consistency.
each person's different. For me, that didn't work as well, because I have that destructive behavior where what I have is what I spend. I found for myself what worked. I agree with your idea that might work with the general public, with most of the people.
Works with everyone but me.
For me, for me, the only thing that worked is what I told you, is that as soon as I get paid, pack it up, man, 50% at least, because I know myself that I can survive on the 50%. So why am I holding 80%? I know myself. I pack it up, and then when I have the 50% in my pocket, I pretend like I don't have the other money, as if it's not there. So that way, I know for the next 2 weeks, I got to budget myself to that 50%.
I'll tell you what.
If I don't budget myself, I'm going to feel like I'm broke for a few days.
What's, just honestly, just
Yeah.
because I feel like maybe I misunderstood what you were saying, what's the difference between putting 50% on the side and the 10 or 20%?
What do you mean?
In terms, because you said what I mentioned doesn't
you
work
said
with you.
he found
What
he
I'm
only
trying to
needs
say
50%.
is, if I put 10% and then at the end of the week I put the remainder of what I haven't spent,
Yeah.
I can't do that because of my destructive habits that by the end of the week, I feel a need to spend whatever I have left over in my possession.
But do you think it's easy for some people that never tried it before to immediately go to 50%?
No, they slowly get there.
No,
That's
exactly
why,
right.
Don't you think maybe starting with a smaller percentage and gradually increasing?
That's what I said. But I felt for myself, if I didn't do the drastic
you
change,
needed to go cold turkey.
I needed a slap across the face.
I'll tell
and
you
if that didn't happen, I wouldn't have done it.
What
man.
worked for me when I bought that land with the stamp duty, got slugged for it. I don't own it anymore. But anyway, what worked for me is that my uncle, who's very tech savvy, Excel spreadsheets, all that crap, he came up to me.
Tech savvy spreadsheets.
He made an Excel.
Is that the definition of tech savvy nowadays?
He made an Excel spreadsheet for me, an Excel where you enter every week, and he put a line graph. And the line graph had 2 line graphs. One of them was expected savings, and it was timeline within the
I
year.
remember that. You taught me that one.
So it's a 1 year period, and it's by month and weeks. So weeks within the month. And it had expected savings if you were, for example, to put $500 aside or $400 aside.
Or even 100.
No, because there was a goal.
Yeah.
So at the top, I had expected saving, for example, $50,000 or $40,000.
You would divide it across
And
your pay scale.
it was already divided, the line graph, the set line graph. The one that you puncture is the secondary line graph, where whatever you put within that week, and then allows you to see if you're on track
There you go.
with your savings. So what happened with
You have
me?
to update every week.
Yeah. What happened with me is that it became a competition with myself. And I was not only intrinsically motivated, I was also extrinsically motivated
They're getting bigger and bigger.
to know I need to beat that line.
But can you just explain though that at that time, even though it's still a massive effort and accomplishment what he did, at that time in his line of work, he was, even if he put 500 on the side, he had
money to back him up.
He had more income coming in at that time.
But still, when I first started it,
If you were to do that with $1,000 income, would it have been
yes,
the same, or maybe because
Not
of the
the same.
lifestyle?
No, it's not that. I think it's, like I said, the general lifestyle. So now, let's say you're married with 2 cars, a house, bills. So let's say you do want to save. Every week you put, let's say hypothetically speaking, $500. And then Redra comes on the first car. And you're like, this week I can't put $500.
That's right.
I have to pay
but
Redra.
that's why there's expected savings where it was realistic.
Yeah.
But with me, I was single, nervous. I
was
am
a
still
bit
single,
easier.
by the way.
For the ladies.
For the ladies.
Give them a shout out.
Mustafa Cray Instagram.
This is not a hookup site, man. Relax.
But
This is not late night tones with Mustafa Crane.
Lane on tones,
Late-
Mustafa Cray.
Late night datings.
Late,
Hey, what do they call it? Shout outs? Dedications, song dedications.
Love song dedications. So
please, don't you ever do that again.
anyway, the 2 lines.
There was like a whole radio show at night.
Yeah.
Back
yeah,
in,
it was. It is.
in the early it still
I
is.
think so. Yeah.
Is this still a thing?
It's that corny ass guy that goes on the radio and
Chigusa.
says, this is dedicated from so and so. He says he loves you so much. And he would like to give you this as a present.
Yeah. People
Wow.
would call in. Hello,
Yeah.
hello, Richard.
The corniest statements.
My partner. I'd
But
just like
why-
to tell her that I love her.
But why the accent?
That's how they'd sound.
Yeah.
But anyway,
Are you saying people that sound like that were the only ones to do that?
Yeah, they're the weirdest
Kind
people
of
that
discriminating. don't
can
you
I
think?
tell you something?
Yes, love song
Thank
dedication.
you.
Tell us about
To
your
finish,
saving tactics, because
Come on, man. It's over that
By-
stage.
we're
by
very
the-
interested how you're able to spot a green one to everyone that looks at you.
Spot him, mate. Spot him.
by halfway, I found that my line was higher than the expected saving. So if that week I wanted to spend a lot, I can afford it because I was already in competition with myself.
There you go. Point of the story. Guys, save your money. Save your money.
Be wise with your money. Be
And you
wise.
can't compare your situation to anyone else, because everybody has their own situation. You might have more kids. You might have more vehicles. You might have unexpected
Payments.
payments and situations in your life that require you to make the extra payment that week. So it happens. It's normal. You just got to make sure you're consistent.
Yeah, it's fine. As long as you're trying. The point is to try to be, what do they call it? Frugal? Is that the word?
What?
Frugal?
What?
Is that the word?
That's the word of the day. What do you say? How do you say it?
You're the word guy, man.
While he pulls that up, pull it up, AOB.
That
while he
even
does
rhyme
that,
with my name.
Did you feel like consistency was the main aspect of your savings? Did that help you the most, being consistent?
Goals.
But
Guys,
being
I had
consistent towards those goals, was that a
Frugal.
How do you spell it?
Frugal, frugal, sparing or economical. As you don't know that word?
I'm a bit too frugal to splash
It's
out.
frugal means you're not a tight ass, but you're aware of your spending, so you're economical.
economical?
Oh, so when you're comparing cheap people with frugal people.
Yeah, frugal is not the what they call tight ass. What
Yeah,
people consider
because
as
they
tight
can
ass.
only they only care about price, whereas
Yeah.
it's the others, they care about the value.
So, for example, a frugal person doesn't go to a $30 haircut; he goes to a $10 haircut because he thinks it's hair. He doesn't care.
But there are differences.
No, there are. I'm just saying that's what the difference is. Yeah.
Oh, I'll give you
But
something.
for example, what people might consider, I'm not saying it is, but what some laymen might consider as a tight ass, for example, is a person that goes home and butchers his own haircut.
Okay. Or you can go to a normal shop and buy a cotton shirt for $30.
Yeah.
And go to Versace and buy the same cotton shirt with Versace on there for $150.
Yeah. So the frugal person will go for the $30 shirt.
But then you have a cheap person who they refuse to buy something even if it's necessary.
Yeah, that's
That's
the
a cheap
definition,
person.
Yeah.
But a frugal person, if they find it necessary, they'll buy it, but at a reasonable price. That's the difference between also
That's
frugal
correct.
and
Are
cheap.
you
There you go.
frugal?
Hey,
No,
Hey,
but
hey,
I'd like to be frugal.
I'm surprised that I just teach Cram a
You
new
did
word.
frugal. Frugal.
I think
frugal people.
I want to be a frugal person. My fist is in the air. Frugal.
I when you're saying frugal, I'm imagining you in a frog costume jumping up and down.
Anyhow, and this song's
Thanks, bro. Thank
this
you.
song's dedicated to the lovebirds over here. Seriously, you got nothing to say?
I'm speechless.
You're speechless.
Look, I'll be
Anyway, I
honest
think
with
it's
you,
time to call it a night.
He just wants to end the podcast. He's not.
He's not into it
No.
anymore. He's died just like his savings.
He's
Shut the gates. I'm walking out.
No, you can't look to your left, man. What's wrong with you?
Wow.
You got a bit too comfortable.
You know that statement? It's
Sorry,
so
man.
true. But we will get there.
We will, man.
And when we get there, we rise to the top. There's
Put your head
only
up
one
high.
way forward. Yesterday, I put a
what
photo
happens
of my
when we rise to
Instagram.
the top?
We keep marching forward. We set new goals. I put a photo of my Instagram, and I
Yes.
actually, that comment subliminally to myself, yeah, it actually hit home because I said 10 years ago, I put a photo of me 10 years ago in my last year of school, yeah. And what did I say in the comment? I meant it. I said that the year is 2010, almost 10 years ago, and you also you almost laugh at what was really important back then compared to what really is important now.
For sure, man.
Life goes on, we move forward.
100%.
Wow.
Is he trying to end the show by that?
Look, I think-
he's trying to take the rap for
I
the.
think
He started it and he's trying to end it.
Yeah,
What's this
obviously
going about?
it's part of his high roller lifestyle.
That's it, man.
Well, unfortunately, we have reached the end of our lovely podcast.
But-
You know what? I do want to send this message out again. The same message that I'm going to send every podcast until it starts happening. I want to hear feedback from all our listeners.
The short sticks on Instagram.
A question.
We
you
are,
want us to,
again, we
when
are
when I say feedback, all I mean is
on our page.
on our page.
Yeah.
What do you want to hear us talk
Stop
about?
messaging us personally. We
Yeah, don't
appreciate
message-
it, but show the love to the page.
Tag us
Yeah.
on our
What's
story.
the Instagram, man?
And
The
share
short
it,
sticks.
share it with your friends and your family.
Yeah.
We're the short sticks. You'll find us very easily. And if you want us to discuss a certain topic, if you want to
Shout
hear
it
our
out.
opinions,
Say
let us know. We would love to discuss it.
Thank you for listening.